Kiara Bridges is a law professor at Berkeley. She has written many articles about race, class, reproductive rights, and the intersection of the three. Joshua David Hawley is a Republican senator from Missouri, and the two of them have an absolute iconic interaction at a Senate committee hearing, so let's watch that together.
I want to visit with you, Ms. Mansky, but before I do, I just want to clear one thing up. Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Love his way of asking that question. People with a capacity for pregnancy. It's cringe how they're trying to make the terminology sound more intelligent than just birthing bodies.
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
And what these groups of people have in common is that they're all biological females. One thing that really annoys me is how woke activists use women who are infertile as an argument that it's not only women who can get pregnant. To me, it sounds like they're implying that women who are infertile are not real women. But listen, affirming that it's only women who can get pregnant is not denying that some women can't. And it certainly doesn't make them non-women. Biological sex is determined by gametes, the mature reproductive cells. A biological female is someone who has the potential to produce larger gametes, that is eggs. A biological male is someone who has the potential to produce smaller gametes, that is sperm. A woman doesn't become any less of a biological female because of her fertility issues. Because biological sex isn't a scale or a spectrum. There are only two types of mature reproductive cells, only two types of gametes. Physical conditions can't define or change one's biological sex because the body will still not be able to produce the opposite sex gametes.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Yes it is. Women's rights issues only refer to women. According to woke ideology, men can get pregnant because trans men are men. Then are strict abortion laws a men's rights issue?
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic.
She's doing that thing that most woke activists do. When being asked a simple question, instead of responding with a well-thought-out argument, they call the other person transphobic, homophobic, racist, and so on. Establishing the fact that only women can get pregnant is far from transphobic. But constantly including transsexuals in every conversation about women against our will is transphobic and ignorant.
And it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
Well, not really. Her real intention is to shut you up by accusing you of being a bad person, so she doesn't have to fake being intelligent in order to debate against you. Yes, I said it. A common tactic by the woke mob. They're not so thrilled with, nuanced conversation. Answering fair and grounded questions, that's not their strong suit, so they would rather scare the other side from even having the debate.
I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
Because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying that
dangerous.
trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can
So
get
you are
pregnant.
denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you, or are they
Absolutely.
also treated like this, where
No,
they're
they're
told
allowed
that
to
they're
question.
opening up people to
Oh, we
violence
have a good
by
time in my
questioning?
class. You should
Oh, I
join.
bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot
I
just in this
know,
exchange.
absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Look at her eyes, that's some scary shit. You deny trans people's existence is the #1 so-called argument that the woke mob use. They know it's an undeniable fact that trans people exist, so they think it's a bulletproof argument. I hate to break it to them, but it's not. Because the argument is mostly used in the context of some people not believing that trans people are biologically the opposite sex that they identify as. It's also used when stating that biological sex is real and unchangeable. I'm so tired that the professor in the video and people like her, they get triggered talking about how reasonable people are transphobic and lead trans people to violence. When woke, and I'm just gonna say it, unbalanced activists, they speak on transsexuals' behalf, it feels like they're putting duct tape over my mouth, spewing lies, while I can't do anything about it. To say that high suicide attempt rates are caused by people not believing that men can get pregnant is one of the most insulting things I've ever heard. Maybe if woke activists they would actually acknowledge gender dysphoria as a medical condition as pain, and they could maybe understand the suicide rates. I'm just saying. And what statistic is she even talking about? Like, I'm generally curious. I don't get it. If you have any idea, link it down below. I think it's disgusting that she's using vulnerable people in order for her to feel morally superior. Just a reality check, she's not. Because she doesn't actually give a damn about real transsexuals. Why else make a fool of us publicly like that? It's quite concerning that she's a law professor. I feel really bad for her students because she seems quite aggressive, like her attitude is not the greatest. Men can't get pregnant because a man is a biological male. Trans men are biological females, and yes, some can get pregnant, but it doesn't mean that men can get pregnant. It doesn't change any established biological facts. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, remember to subscribe, follow me on social media, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.